Hey guys, what's up? So today I've got two games for you, and I'll tell you what's up. They're both on Melanovka, they're both in my Comet, and they both get Top Gun. So, yeah, you may know that I put quite a lot of videos up of my Cromwell, because I quite enjoy my Cromwell. It's one of my favorite tanks in World of Tanks. And the Comet is very similar, but there are a few key differences. It's very similar to the Cromwell, but it's got more HP, it's a bit slower, and probably the biggest difference is the turret. Unlike the Cromwell, the Comet actually has some frontal turret armor, which is why in both games here on Melanovka you'll see me heading up on the hill using the good gun depression and the pretty decent frontal turret armor, the spaced armor and the sloping and everything. It's weird, I don't understand how it works, but somehow it works. You see me bouncing shots from IS's, KV2s, not KV2s, I don't know, but you see me bouncing a lot of shots, and yeah, it's great. But the turret armor that you get does make your tank suffer a little bit. It is a lot slower, but you have a lot more HP. So in total it kind of balances out. The Cromwell is a lot faster, and I mean a lot faster. And in case you're wondering, the guns are exactly the same, even though technically they're slightly different. This gun does about 5mm extra penetration and 5 extra damage or something, so they're pretty much exactly the same. You see me trying to take shots on this T-34, but basically I'm just climbing up the top of the hill. And blind as I am, I completely missed this ELC charging down the hill towards me. I'm just tunnel visioning on that T-34-85, and this ELC is just like I noticed him, but at that point it's kind of too late, and I just kind of spaz out a bit while my allies shoot him. But anyway, so the differences between the Cromwell and the Comet. The Cromwell is a lot faster, and that's why I kind of prefer the Cromwell really over the Comet. The guns are the same. The Comet has a lot more a bit of turret armor and a lot more HP, though. It's got about 500 more HP or something. It goes up from like what is it? Is it like 750 to like 1150? So yeah, it's good. It's a nice jump, 400 HP or whatever that is. So yeah, so tactics. So I'm up on top of this hill, and you can use the good gun depression and sweeping hills and good mobility. Even though the Cromwell is faster, it's still a nice fast medium tank. You can use that to get shots on enemies without them really being able to put damage back into you. And of course, with that great Cromwell gun on there, you've got pretty good pen, a low damage but ridiculously high rate of fire. You fire a shot every 3.5 seconds-ish with a gun rammer and good crew. Just under 3.5 seconds, which means that in 12 seconds you can fire 4 shots, which is about 600 damage, so you've got a higher DPM than a tier 8 T-34. So you've got great DPM if you could just keep the gun working. And on this hill here, just keeping popping up, just waiting for enemies to pop out, you can keep the gun working hard. You never have to wait long for a reload. And yeah, the great rate of fire gives you options with what you want to do. So it means that you can use your right-click auto-aim a lot more. And I kind of mess over that Cheery there just because I want to get shots on him. But you see, you can use your auto-aim. So, right-click on an enemy, just drive up until it pops up, take a shot, back up. You don't need to worry about it so much. Because the penetration is really good, and you've got such a good rate of fire that even if it bounces or you miss or whatever, just take another shot. Now you can see there I bounce a shot from the IS, which is it's really great. It's a perfect display of the usefulness of the Comet's frontal turret armor and the spaced armor. And yeah, you can bounce shots from IS's KV-85. That shot would have done like 400 damage. It was an IS 122. And yeah, really useful. The one downplay of the downside of the Comet though is the gun. Really, even though the rate of fire is great, it's not at all an improvement over the Cromwell, which when you're top tier, it's not so important in a tier 7 game. Decided to finish off this IS here because free kills, why not? 10 HP. But yeah, when you're up against tier 9s, because it is a tier 7, it does get into tier 9s, give myself a kill. When you're up against tier 9s, it's entirely useless. Even shooting at the side of an E75, shooting at the side of an IS-8, shooting at the front of an IS-8, it's very difficult penning tier 9s anywhere really, except right in the back. And you see I bounce a shot there from the KV-85, just miss a shot from the KV-2. I do take a hit from the KV-85 there, but of course it's a medium tank, you can expect to take hits. But that's where the HP comes in. You've got quite a lot of HP, and even now, after taking that many hits, I'm on like half HP, and I'm only a little bit below where I normally would be in my Cromwell. Anyway, so my team helps me out with that KV-2. And even there, I took a hit from a KV-2 Derp gun right in the back of my tank. You'd think that would have one-shot me, but it didn't, because it hit me in the tracks or something. It didn't even... Oh yeah, it damaged my left and right tracks. But yeah, I don't know, I think that was mostly just luck. But yeah, you know, same tactics, same tactic. I've done 1,000 damage now, I've got 3 kills. And I'm still just working on this KV-85. But yeah, the penetration on the gun isn't very good. Like, it's decent, it works well, and with the tank, if you can go, it's accurate enough that you can hit weak spots, and it also has a fast enough fire rate that even if you bounce half your shots, you know, you're still going to do decent damage. Also, if you're firing the side of pretty much any tier 8 or 7 or 6, you're going to pan every time, so that's not a problem. Just the problem is shooting at the front of heavy tanks, especially at tier 7. You're going to have trouble penning the front of an IS and a Tiger unless you aim at weak spots, or unless you use APCR, which I do use it later on in this game. So as you see, the KV-85 missed a shot, and I've got a 4.1 second reload time, but in the next game you'll see after I've gotten a better crew and a gun rammer, it does drop down below 4 seconds. But yeah. Now here's where you can see the difference in speed between the Cromwell and the Comet. So this KV-85 is coming in, and I'm not on very high health. He can two-shot me, and I'd really prefer not to take damage. And if he had the 122, he could one-shot me. So I decide, okay, we're going to play cat-mouse around this windmill. You're in a heavy tank, I'm in a Comet. Easy. Except, not so much. I'm not sure whether it's the slow turning speed, or the slow acceleration, or just something's wrong, but that guy was catching me. He was slow, he was going around there faster than me, and he was going to catch me. I do finish him off at 75, but he was beating me around that windmill, and that meant that if my teammates hadn't come up and saved me there and forced him to back off, he probably would have caught me. He would have put one shot into me, and then I would have had to fight him, and I would have killed him, but I would have been on much lower HP. It wouldn't have really been a problem, but just there you can see the difference in speed. The Cromwell would have had no problem. The power to weight ratio on the Cromwell is really high. You can accelerate very quickly, and you can reverse very quickly as well. You can also turn around corners very quickly, and you know, the Comet is just, you're gonna really feel it. When you grab the Comet after the Cromwell, you're gonna feel sluggish, you're gonna feel slow. You just can't pull the same shit you can in the Cromwell. You can't get around as fast, and you just can't. Yeah, it's like the Cromwell was more of a light tank. Honestly, if I had to put it somewhere, I'd put it in the same class as, say, the M41 Walker Bulldog, the LTTB, all the new light tanks that just came in 9.3. I'd say the Cromwell is pretty much plays exactly the same as them. It's pretty much a light tank. The Comet is much more of a medium tank. It's, well, knowing how the Centurion plays, which is the next one up, the tier 8, the Comet is pretty much halfway between the Cromwell and the Centurion. You know, you still got nice speed, but compared to the Cromwell, not even close. And the gun, well, I'm hoping it gets better on the Centurion, I'm pretty sure it does. But right now, the gun on the Comet, it's still the Cromwell's gun, and the Cromwell's gun was fantastic for what it is, and I'm playing it well. So, as you can see here, I get 2 top guns. In this game, I've done 1,800 damage. So even though the gun, you know, is like that, and it's prone to miss and bounce a lot of shots, not miss shots, bounce a lot of shots, it's got good accuracy and good aiming time, but it's prone to bounce a lot of shots, you can still do a lot of damage just because that rate of fire. Anyway, so I'm hunting for my top gun here, and I decide it's an 87, I'm probably not going to be able to pen him with this gun, so I load up some APCR, and if you are loading APCR, then you can pen most things, and you're not going to have trouble. The thing is, with that ridiculously fast rate of fire, you're going to run out of money really quick if you're firing just pure APCR. And even with APCR, you can see I just bounced off the side of the 87. Hoping for a top gun, his tracks ate that shot, and I finish him off. And yeah, just great game in total, just showcasing the ability of the turret armor and everything. You can see here I got Fire for Effect for doing more damage than my HP, I got Sharpshooter, I got Spotter for doing 2,000 spotting damage. I also got Brawler and something else for doing critical hits and damaging enemies who damage me. And I got my Top Gun. I put 18 shots into enemies, 24 shots hit, 34 fired. So I bounced 6 shots in total and I penetrated 18 shots. So the penetration is pretty good when you're at top tier. But again, if you jump that up to tier 8s and 9s, you're going to have a bit more trouble. Yeah, so here we go. Here's my second game, also on Melanovka, except this time it's a little bit different. Last game was just a standard, normal match. This one is Encounter. But, you know, and you can see I've put camo on my tank. And also you'll see the reload, I've got it down to 3.29 seconds instead of 4.1 seconds, where it was before, because that one was like my 10th match in the Comet, and this one is like my 55th match in the Comet. So I've gotten a bit better at the Comet, and I've managed to get the stats working a bit better, and get my optimization of my crew skills and equipment going, and I've reduced that reload time, and that will help me out a lot. But I'm going to pull the same tactic, because it worked last time. I'm going to pull the same tactic. I'm going to sit up here, just in the low ground, peek my head up over the top. I'm top tier again, but there are a lot of tier 7s in this game, so it's not really important. Just going to peek my head over this, use the turret armor, and try to nail enemies. It's a little bit slow at the start here, because there's no enemies around, because heavies take a while to get up on the top, but there are a lot of heavies in this game. The enemy team has 11 heavy tanks. We have 11 heavy tanks as well. Both teams only have... Well, our team, I'm the only medium tank in the entire game, but as you can see, our entire team is lemming-zigging up onto this hill. And just about the penetration of the gun, shooting anywhere on a Black Prince, you're not going to penetrate, like, anywhere unless you're shooting it right in the arse. The side armor, the turret armor, the frontal armor, you're not going to penetrate. But an IS, you can penetrate. And you can see the damage isn't that bad. It's about 150 per shot, so it's pretty good. Put another shot into his side. Oh, look, another IS. I'll bounce off him, but oh well, it's the front of his turret. What do you expect? KV3, IS, bunch of tanks over there, and they're not really paying attention to me. And this is part of the good tactic of the Comet. Well, he's paying attention to me now, but you do such little damage that you're just kind of like a pesky little mosquito. You little bites here, little bites there, little buzzing noise, little flying around, doing little tiny little attacks. And so they don't really pay attention to you, but overall you've done quite a lot of damage. I've already done 550 damage, and yeah, also the rate of fire of the gun and the high ammo capacity relatively means you can afford to put shots into cover to get rid of enemy cover, and that's really useful, especially when people are hiding behind cover and they've got an IS with a long kind of 10-second reload. You can really just output some damage. If you're going to turn your turret sideways like that, I will put shots into you for days. Anyway, so there's a lot of heavy tanks over there. We got ISs, KV3 and a Tiger. And I'm still just, see, the accuracy in the reload, meaning that I can, well, I missed that shot, but I can reliably put shots into the top of an IS if he's not moving. I can aim at his commander's cupola. KV3 is trying to shoot at me. I'll finish off this IS in a second. He's still not paying any attention, and I pick up my first kill. Alright, so who to focus now? That other IS is on low HP, but that KV3 is looking this way, and he's looking dangerous. I decided to put shots in that IS. I take a hit from the KV3 there, I think. Yep, 424 damage. I do finish off the IS though, and you see that's the first hit I've taken. Now I'm working over this Tiger, and as you can see, the penetration is good enough. I'm not firing APCR here, I'm just firing regular AP. I'm penetrating the front of his turret, so it's decent pen. I've already done 1,500 damage, and I've only got 2 kills, so I'm just starting. Put another shot into the side of the Tiger, wait for someone else to damage a bit more. Actually, no, I'll do it all myself. Just keep firing at him. Someone finishes off the Tiger. But there's still plenty of targets around. I'm looking at kind of doing damage to these guys over here, but I'm going to have to pop up way more over this to get shots on them. And then they're going to be in the hold down position, and I'm going to have trouble with that. So instead, I decided to go down here and mess with this Tiger. Because he's in trouble. He's got 3 enemy tanks on him, and he's by himself. He's holed up. My allies aren't doing anything though, so I would just pop up and shoot him in the arse. I have such a good reload that I can back up, I can fire, back up, pull out again, and fire again before he's even turned his turret around. That 3.29 second reload is just incredibly good. I've fired about half my AP shots so far. I've still only got 2 kills though. So you can see now at this point that the enemy team is coming in base, and apart from our AMX-12T and the Lutch, I finished off the Tiger there, all our tanks are up here on the hill, and seeing as I'm the only medium tank, and everyone else is either heavy tanks or the 2 light tanks are already down there in the Arty. No, just the 1 tank. No, the 2. They're both down there. I figure I'm the only one who's fast enough up here on the hill to get down there and reset the cap. And I don't realize that it's only a tier 5 sitting there on the cap. I think, you know, who knows, it might be a heavy tank or something. So I decided to go down and support the Lutch. Because I've done enough damage at the top, done 2,000 damage up the top, that my team should be able to push through and carry it fine. It shouldn't be a problem. So I'll come down here and help this Lutch with this T69. They probably want to finish him off by himself, but might as well put a shot into him, finish him. works towards my Top Gun anyway. Alright, so we've pretty much got this game unlocked, done 2,000 damage, it's now 10-2, and it's time to sweep in and do some cleanup. See, in the Cromwell here I'd be doing probably about 60, instead I'm doing 47, but that slower speed does mean with a vertical stabilizer you get decent accuracy on the move. You can see I'm moving at full speed, and I'm not able to hit the side of that T-29's turret, but the accuracy is still very good. Here I do actually hit the side of the T-29's turret, but it doesn't penetrate. But I'm still moving at full speed, put a shot right into the side of his turret over that hill. That was a pretty tough shot to get, and I moved it, I hit it at 45 kilometers an hour. Here as well, full speed, hit a light tank, no problem. The Cromwells and the Comets and British tanks are very good at firing on the move, and the Comet is no exception. With the fast fire rate and the pretty good mobility, even though it's worse than the Cromwell, you can just keep moving, circling around, driving around the battlefield, firing at will. Such a high fire rate, doesn't matter if you miss, just keep going. I'm now hunting for their last tank, the Su-14-2. Looking for my Top Gun. I've got 5 kills, done 2,300 damage, whereas this Su-14, he's taking a bath. And that's awesome, because it means none of my allies can get a shot. He's in cover. I'll just sit here. And he's sitting in the water, so there's no way he's going to turn around in time. I'll finish him off, pick up my Top Gun. 2,600 damage, 6 kills, Top Gun. Spotter again for doing 1,500 spotting damage, fire for effect of course. 1,460 base XP without premium, so that's pretty good. 50,000 credits, and you can see I spotted 6 enemy tanks. I put 23 shots into enemies, so I didn't bounce that many shots. Top my team, 6 kills, most damage, most XP by a mile. And yeah, 33 hits, 23 penetrations, 260 damage, and 1,500 spotting damage. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.